Yeah, these are the things that trigger me. Videos like this. Here you have a girl rejecting a guy, right? He's doing that cold approach thing, which I tell dudes, stop doing that ish. Like, okay, if you're a jock or if you're one of those guys that you're over a certain height, right, and or if you're genetically superior to most of your male peers, maybe, but even then, I don't think that's a good strategy. In my opinion, I just think because the most of the time you're approaching trash, you're approaching trash, and because you're approaching trash, that said trash could then, like, hey, I've been approached, and they get a very trash gets a very inflated uh like ego like their ego goes through the roof. Said trash that you're approaching, whether it be fat bitches, regular bitches, right? These people. But at the end of the day, just approaching random broads and doing it, that's not it. But I kind of went off topic there. But here he said the girl rejects a guy and then gets mad when he goes and raises up another baddie, right? So, in other words, he gets rejected, he moves on, he moves on, and then he tries to approach somebody else. That same girl sees him approaching somebody else and she gets upset. Typical stuff. But let's just watch the video.
Is it cool if I grab your number though? I can't take you on a date. Why? Oh, okay, okay, no worries. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm in love with you. What's your name?
Ashley.
Huh?
Ashley.
Are you from Australia?
No, England. England. It won't work. It's English number.
Huh? Oh, yeah, it would work. It would work.
You already?
It would work.
Already?
What?
That's fun.
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is. Oh, is it cool if I grab your number though?
And this is so triggering. Like I'm like, this is very triggering. I really hate it when women do stuff like that, or really people in general. They'll reject you, you'll move on, and they just can't. They just can't. They just can't move on. I will say this as a person, whether it be male or female, you will get ahead of 95% of the normies that you run into. The ability that you have to move on from a situation, or the power for you to move on from a situation, but especially I'll say that as a man, because most women actually they can't. Anyways, but as a man, I didn't want to start dissing people, but as a man, the power of you to just walk away and have options will literally put you ahead of most if you can pull it off. Now, a guy like this, even though obviously I'm against cold approaching, but if you have the ability in your life to be able to just move on, you're not hounding chicks, meaning if they reject you, you're not trying to overcome objections, right? And all that stuff. You're just able to move on. You got that actual Kobe mentality, right? The Michael Jordan, the real Michael Jordan, Mamba mentality, or the Michael Jordan mentality, where you can actually move on, right? Now, this is why when I tell people, when you have women butting in certain situations, right? They find out their friends with benefits actually has a situation. He has a family, or he has a girlfriend, a steady girl. This is why I always say women are not happily single. This is the biggest lie. No, to man, because these so-called happily single women will do stuff like this. They'll act like, first of all, you'll ask a dude will ask them out, and then they will say, instead of just saying I'm single or whatever, but I'm sorry, that's going to be a no for me. They will lie and say that they're taken, and clearly they're lying, because that's one of their main go-to lies. So you can quote unquote leave them alone. Oh, I just want to. They won't leave us alone, and they will. So the guy moves on here, and you would think that they're happy that he's moved on and is finding some other girl to quote unquote bother, because he's quote unquote bothering you. So he's bothering somebody else. Let him bother somebody else. And I think on top of that, to see that the woman was very receptive to me. So, oh yeah, sure. Here's my number, even though she could be lying. For all we know, that the blonde girl, she could just probably just here's the number, just get out of my face. She literally could be lying. So that on top of that, she was in her mind, the Asian chick, she was receptive. So she goes all up in his grill talking about already. Stop. I hate it when women do that. Like, this is crazy. I hate it when women do stuff like that. Like that has happened to me. Now, I want you guys to understand this before I do the replay. To all you dudes that think that women can be your friends and whatnot. Now, she did that to somebody she got upset of a guy that she rejected. And she got upset that he moved on quick. And she doesn't even know that dude. This guy could be anybody. This dude could be a creep. She was already that upset. Now imagine you got this as your female friend. This is an enemy, dog. How can a man now come up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, she's my friend"? She is messing up your ability to get other women. I'm sorry, I keep telling you this. Look at how upset and look how much she started cock blocking this dude, and she doesn't even know this dude. She immediately tries to mess up whatever he got going on. And people try to tell me, okay, so now imagine this chick is your friend. She knows that attention you give her. She needs it like a drug. You think if any other girl is coming around you or potential, sometimes you lock eyes with a chick, things happen. You think she doesn't see that and then she try to, or she'll make it like y'all are smashing, but y'all clearly not. Or she'll say something to that girl, or she'll get in your way every time you're trying to get to that other girl. You think women don't do stuff like that, and they mess up your game plan? And I'm telling you, I'm sorry, people can get mad at me all they want. Most women are like that. Most women are like that. I'm sorry, most women are like that. You can get mad. You can get mad at me all you want. Most women are like that, and even if they don't show it, they feel it. I'm telling you, because you can see it in their face. When you move on, like even just moving on from a chick, look how mad women will get at men if you just block them. And I've experienced, okay, this is not going to work out, block. And then instead of saying, it didn't work out, they will run with it. Oh, he blocked me. And then not only that, they'll tell a whole other story about how you were a creep and all this. They will make up a whole story about you because they just could not take that L. It's crazy. But watch this. Let me replay this video one more time for you guys. But I'm gonna stop it in between.
Is it cool if I grab your number though? I can't take you on a date. Why? Okay.
So see, now you got your den of demons as friends. Like, yeah, right? She tried to look cool in front of her friends, right? And then she was gonna use this. And then watch this. If she didn't catch if she didn't end up catching the dude later on, she would have used this situation to be like, "Oh, these guys, I hate it when these guys are approaching me and all this." So, you ever hear when a girl say that? I hate it when these guys are approaching me, and they're just what they're trying to do. It's called a humble brag, to act like they have options, in their mind, right? So they'll say stuff. So she was going to use that situation to to humble brag later on. You know what I mean? Now she was stuck there trying to look cool in front of her demonic friends, her friends of demons. Right, the hen of demons. And what's beautiful, at least with this situation, he wasn't trying to overcome objections or do that ninja stuff, right? Well, I know you with your friend trying to be cool and then get mad later on. Instead of just moving on, he just said, "Okay, oh, y'all taking cool, move on." But the thing is, like, when you really move on, people only value you when you leave. It's one of these things. It's just like it just seems like people only value you when you gone. It's crazy.
No worries. Excuse me.
He literally goes, "No worries," moves on. Doesn't do that overcoming objections thing. So I'll give him credit for that, even though he's one of those cold approach guys. I can at least respect him that he didn't try to push it and go on to creep mode where you please. Oh yeah, and by the way, women that are listening to this, those days of I ain't too proud to beg and all that stuff, those days are gone. So all this stuff, you think you can catch attitude and this guy approached me, I rejected him, and you think the dude is gonna be on your tail, those days are gone. So if you, especially when you're around your hen of demons that you call friends, if you actually like the guy and you don't mind him shooting his shot, don't be stuck up. Don't be one of these people. You could literally fumble your next bout of happiness or your phase of happiness by doing something like that.
Oh my God, I'm in love with you. What's your name?
Ashley.
Huh?
Ashley.
Are you from Australia?
No, UK. and the letter. Wait.
So, and shout out, you know what's beautiful about this situation where she's with a friend and you know, guy approaches her, she just gets out the way. She lets her friend get the number. She doesn't say anything because it's none of her business. But this is where I get triggered right here. Because you can already hear her already. Like I hate women like that, dog. Because people will be like, oh, and these will be. I'm talking about these will be the same women in my comments and all this stuff, stalking my page and all this shit. When I literally just say, yeah, men and women can't be friends, or I'll just say, you know, women make terrible friends, or you know, particularly when you're talking about teenage women, they're too much of a liability and stuff. I'll say something like that. I'm trying to talk to other dudes, and they'll be all up in my comments, all up on my page, on my Instagram, acting like I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm a incel for saying something something like that. And you'll have the proof right there, and not only just proof, just real life, just real life. This has happened to me before, guys. I'm talking about this to a similar situation. Situations. This has happened to me before. It's crazy. You can already hear her. Oh,
Wait. Take your number.
Oh, yeah, it would work. It would work.
Already?
It would work.
Already?
What?
That's fun.
Who's this?
Like, and shout out to the guys like, who's this? And now the browser's like, what?
I have no idea what this girl is. Oh, just go back, grab
Now
it.
I'll say this: the girl in the blonde. For all we, let me. Sorry. So the girl in the blonde, for all we know, she's probably just trying to give him his number so he can get the fuck on. It's probably a fake. For all we know, she's probably a plant. For all we know, she was probably a plant by him or whatever. For all we know, but it's the that it, to me, this is peak toxicity. This is peak. Because these are the same women. I'm telling you, these are the same ones complaining about harassment and all. I'm telling you, I bet you this broad got a fake ID. Because if you're already out here playing games like this, I'm telling you, these are the same bras that be having fake IDs complaining about men being predators, but they got a fake ID. Oh man. He said, I have no idea what this is. Already, girl talking like they've been dating for months and he moved on. He literally only spoke to her for 8 seconds. This is what's scary. Because I don't even think people understand. Like people might say, "Oh, I'm looking in. Wait, I'm going way into deep into this pause, right?" But imagine you have a girl like that as your quote unquote platonic friend. This is I'm telling you guys, man. I'm telling you. Imagine you have that as a friend, or any of those girls that was sitting next to her. Those are. We talking about narcissists, NPD, BPD, all this shit, all that stuff. Any other questions? You know what I mean? This is it. This is it right here.